विड्रॉल भी बंद हो गए हैं और डिपॉजिट भी बंद हो गए हैं।
हाँ,
तो
आपका वर्ड था हमारा एक वी हैव गॉट मल्टीपल, सो FTX में दे हैव हॉल्टेड देयर, बट होपफुली दे विल, ये 3-4 वीक के बाद सब रिजॉल्व हो जाएगा होपफुली। That's because lots of people have invested like you and me.
मैंने तो बहुत छोटा था, 70,000 इन्वेस्ट किया था, जो 25,000 हो गए।
अच्छा।
But I'm still bullish about it. I'm still
So I'm also not very ऐसे नहीं लग रहा कि पैसे डूब जाएंगे। It is fine. This is happening mainly again India। चालू करें या क्या करें? We have started.
Yes. Hi, welcome to this second podcast. This is a podcast where we are meeting people from different walks of life to understand what business design is. Today we have with us Sonal. Sonal is a faculty with BSSD, Business System Service Design at Srishti Manipal. Hi Sonal, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks Varun for giving me this opportunity and with your students and joining us talking about economics and how it helps those things in the design world. So shall we start with the economics as the main topic in education and
Absolutely. So just as before you start, I want to say, Sonal runs one of the most popular classes in Srishti. That's a class on stock market. Not just students, many of us faculty we attend that class to say, how do we invest? So she's like, she runs this almost cult-like in Srishti. So when we were thinking, we realized that economics plays a role in businesses, but at our level we don't understand how. So we couldn't think of a better person to talk to than Sonal herself. So if you can start off with, yes, like you said, economics and education.
So I started this course particularly because I saw that students are having lots of interest based on stock market, cryptocurrency, NFT and so on. Also, our students have very little understanding about costing, budgeting, how to present the cost price of any product or services, whatever they are doing in their real life projects, or even whatever they are doing in our studios or workshop. And this is how it slowly started. I started with the very basics, certain things in costing, budgeting per one product. If we say, let's take example of this pencil. If it is made up of organic wood, what will be the cost of wood and lead and so on, and then how they can sell this in market with including their profit. So when first I started, the students were absolutely not understanding that they should add profit to gain something from whatever they're designing. Further, they understood how it works, and then I slowly took it to a bit more complex level. Stock market and the other processes, I've seen many students coming to me and saying that our parents feel we are too small for all those things and we should not invest much in stock market. So even my recent class was being questioned about should we teach or not teach stock market, cryptocurrencies and NFTs to I would say the students, undergrad students, but I think so it's very much required because it's only now who students are coming to know that how really you enter the world of stock market, not only in India but even other countries, and how to really start with, even if you don't invest, but what is the ecosystem which is working around cryptocurrency and NFT. As we all know that again NFT is going to be the biggest, I would say the latest model about how you can create a business and run a business. Although it requires quite a lot of study and research, I don't say it is just doable within one day, but it is the most latest model how you can start your business.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a bit in terms of we understand that okay, this is important. It helps us understand the world. It helps us understand how money is moving. Like I often say, money is energy.
Yes.
So, where the energy is flowing, that's where the money will flow, and vice versa. Where the money will flow, there the energy will flow. So we understand it at some level. But if we can start going into a little more detail, if we can help us understand it with a simple example. Okay. Why should, as a design student, I be interested in stock market?
See, I'll start with the example. Recently, I took a course which was on how to start a startup, which was again from small and medium-sized government organization who wanted to directly teach people who were all involved directly in business and startup. So I randomly, it was online course, 3,500 fees, and I just joined it. When I joined the course and when they took me through the course, the major course was covering how to get a funding. So the funding, when I attended the 2-day evening course of 3 to 4 hours, I found that this is the most important aspect of starting any business. How you get a funding? What are the loans? What are the schemes available for any small startup? It was Indian government initiative taken by small and medium-sized companies, and how you can take them forward. So that in particular, that online session, I came to know that funding is very much essential. What you require, they also briefed us on the paperwork and other things. The final, I would say, if once you running a company and if you want to expand, the first stage, or I would say the you sort of have your initial public offering. Once you have that, your company can be listed on stock market, and you can have more and more finance for doing activity. If we all know the example of Reliance whole success started from, they got a funding from investor based model, from their IPO, and then further people started believing this. This was how Reliance is today called the elephant of India. How they were able to raise the money, that was through stock market. The story whole started from the stock market itself.
So it makes sense when we are looking about aspects like funding, when we are looking at raising money, and of course that sentiment of the market plays a role. And of course, learning about tools like how do you get into the market, how do you become an IPO if you can reach that level of success. But I'm also wondering what, and you can also say that it doesn't impact, because my belief is for smaller organizations, because especially when we are at the stage of undergrad, then in undergrad they are mostly ideas, and these are fueled by idealism.
Yeah.
These are ideas that are sometimes ahead of their times. And now you are looking at business design from perspective of who my first customer is going to be. What is the value I'm going to bring to the customer? How am I going to acquire that customer? So at this stage, also do you think that economy and the larger macroeconomic economy could play some role?
Yes, because even if you're pitching your idea to an investor, they always want to see an Excel sheet which is forecasting them that what will be the point of any business where they get return on investment, or what will be the forecast when the company will start making profits, and what are the initial costing, what is required, what are the equipments, what do the company require or a service require, how many employees do they require, what will be the initial cost of any starting up. Any investor would first like to understand that have you understood the maths, the numbers, number game, and then further you can pitch your idea based upon how much do you really need. Is it 10 lakh? Is it 15 lakh? I can't just randomly say, okay, I require 50 lakhs and you can give me 50 lakhs. No, it needs to be a very specific number based on you have done all your market analysis, you have done all the number analysis based on the market, the pricing, the costing, human resource, marketing, and other things what are required, and then you sort of present it in a way which is, I would say, convincing to bank people. Or any simple, if you are going to put your ideas on any crowdsourcing platform, again there the people are sitting and they want first to understand the forecasting of return on investment point. What will be the most viable model which will work or not work. So when you're pitching, also at a very basic level, you definitely require economics and informing the budget, costing, how a whole model you have planned. Is it going to be subscription based? Is it going to be a cash count kind of a model, and so on? So yeah, definitely you require economics even at a very, very basic or very starting level. I'm sort of also involved in many projects, and when I pitch my projects, the very first thing I have to look at, prepare my Excel sheet and give them the I would say estimated numbers about what will be the project costing. So I would say even students require the costing budget and show the whole economic part of monetary issues which are involved in any startup or projects. Yeah, so yeah, that's from my end.
Nice. So one part is about pitching, getting your numbers right. Are you also seeing this play out in aspects like trains or affordability? Are there also, say for example, like recent news, and we were just discussing this before the podcast started, that there is a recession which is predicted. The rate of interest in debt is going high, so people are saying, okay, maybe the debt bubble is going to burst, and we are going to get into a recession. Large population, including many countries, will not be able to pay back the loans. So we are going to enter next 4-5 years of a lot of loan defaulters. And as a result, a large part of how economy currently works is going to change. It's going to
Yes, yeah.
These are things that we are sort of hearing at a macro level. And I was wondering that how do we map this, which is happening at a global scale, for smaller units? Does it have an impact?
Yes, definitely. It does have an impact. So when you're looking at any economic data, you generally go to, first of all, the company, all the countries and their inflation rates. When we look at big countries, so they even if you are not very expert, you can just Google and find out what's those numbers. So they're saying India is still not in a very bad phase, but if you look at the data of US, which is not, I would say that they're having a high number of, I would say inflation rate 19 and so on, whereas India is still in the rate of 7. Which is again saying or indicating that we are not very bad in terms of finance, but you also need to regularly keep on looking into, they say, CPI data, FOMC data, which is again sort of gives an indicator for how really all across the world things are happening, where India is. And based on where India is, we can also look at our big companies. Again, the indicators like Nifty 50 and Sensex will give a larger idea about how our Indian companies are performing. Whereas when I sort of had few talks and I tried to understand few economics and had a talk with few more economics, they said that India did not, even now India is not having that I would say recession. If you look at in terms of progress of all our big companies or Nifty 50 companies, they're all progressing very well. They don't generally require, or they generally won't default any loans. Whereas very small level companies, they definitely need to see this risk to reward ratio. Once they know what is risk to reward ratio, and then take the risk accordingly. I can't just take risk randomly that okay, I need 1 crore for my business, and then I know that I won't be able to pay crore within maybe whatever the stipulated time is decided. So yes, it impacts. You start with the larger all country level data, inflation rates, interest rates, and so on. And then you sort of take a call on your own small startup, what will be the risk to reward ratio, and really within how much time you will be able to pay that. So yes, you definitely need to look at, there are also few calculators which are available on Google and many other places where you can really see what is risk to reward ratios and how you can sort of decide on your investment or decide on your startup and take the ideas forward further from there. It's not I thought or I think I want to start this business and let's start a business without having any other ideas. Also, when they look at economic data or loans, especially, they say that what age group and which loan you should, if you're taking, all these calculators are already available on Google, so that you see that at what age group, what amount of loan you should have. Again, based on what is your income. Can you take this much risk for now, and will you be able to repay the loan within whatever target you have set for the loan? So definitely, and this is how you do the calculations based on a small level, and then take it to the further higher level once you are, depending on what you are doing and how you do it.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, and we want to ask, like, now we are seeing in college like students are being more interested in these classes of economics and business. So why do you think, and what is attracting them, and why do you think it's important now in colleges to have?
Again, see, students were being taught mainly, I would say, the things which are much more pretty-fine, branding, marketing aspects, which looks pretty, but they have never gone and seen into. Students don't understand supply chain, I would say. Students don't understand activity-based costing. Which is absolutely crucial when you have got something which you're manufacturing, and if it has got many stages. Students need to understand activity-based costing, where each and every stage has got activities involved, and how much cost is there based on those activities. So students are now understanding. It is not only this, because I have also seen last 2 years of my own experience. Students don't want to work on any projects randomly. They want to really work on projects which are coming from clients. When you're working for a client, the client do require numbers. And when the numbers are in, they definitely don't want just this number. Okay, just the normal material add, whatever process or whatever you have done to I would make your I would say product. But they also want to understand really what goes on, how to sort of include not just the material cost, but the manufacturing cost, the labor cost, the water, the power supply, everything which is involved. Again, finally, the costs which are involved for marketing, transportation, logistics, and other things. So that is also one reason why students are taking more and more courses or classes which are coming in terms of economics and finance related things. I recently had 2 or 3 students who are really working with some outside client project. And when they just did a small costing, very basic level, and the client said, no, this is very at a basic level. Can you get an Excel sheet which is showing the assumptions about what will be the next 1 year ka data, or where you will be from today to next 1 year? He was designing a software, and he was not able to really decide on the cost of that particular software to pitch his clients. And I gave him some examples, few Excel sheets, and then further he was able to do that. So even I feel quite proud when they say, oh no, I really achieved, the clients were happy with my idea, and it went to further one level ahead of what we decided.
And this is reminding me of one of the important questions that all of us feel like, what is business systems, service design according to you? When you say business education, what is business design as a field according to you?
If I compare business service systems program from Srishti to other, I would say, because I myself am a BCom graduate first, as my first degree. So in BCom, what I learned was accounting, economics, but I never learned anything real application to whatever my knowledge was. That I only learned after I came and joined Srishti. Even though I was able to do a bit in my masters, where I did my information systems and business management and my PhD. But this all worked best when I really started taking client projects and applying all my knowledge to that. And when I directly started showing or presenting my students that really this is what client require, and we have to do this and this. So this happens in Srishti, whereas when you do any BCom or BBA program, so Generally, this does not happen. So, not only just business is taught here, or enterprise and accelerators and incubation centers and so on, but the business service system, the whole ecosystem which is working around the environment and how to pitch your ideas based on that is the whole main idea of BSSD. It's not just BCom, but it's much more larger, I would say, things which BSSD program is looking at. And I think so that is the thing, it will succeed more. It will be absolutely not very common to all other business programs, but it will stand out from all other programs, I would say. It has got its own niche, very exclusive ideas.
I really resonated with what Sonal was saying around the SSD in terms of it being different, because there is real life application involved when we look at designing. Because it's not, none of the numbers are numbers on paper, but numbers come from the field. For example, many times as when we are introducing margins and what costing, students go on the field, pick up one product and say that, okay, the shopkeeper who's selling that to us, what's the margin that the shopkeeper is making? Who was the distributor from where the material came into the shop? And when you just learn it from there, then suddenly you are able to imagine that macroeconomics that you're not able to do just by looking at it on paper. Some of the other ways that how my understanding of economics and understanding of economics will lend itself into business design. First, I think consumption patterns. Just knowing how consumption is running. For example, like I've been taking back from earlier what I was saying, there is going to be a great problem. Now, if you see that as a designer, what you can maybe discern is maybe consumption will move into more renting or maintenance models. And this is also in line with what is happening with another trend of climate change, where people don't want to own a new product every few years, but they would want to get it repaired. And especially in a country like India, where you have so many consumers beyond the urban markets, in the rural markets, they understand that, hey, we don't know where to dispose this waste. And that's why using products beyond its life is very common practice. Understanding that, okay, the next wave of innovation is going to be maintenance businesses, in renting businesses. And when you understand that, you also understand that investment will also flow that way. I've been with a few of my contacts who are in venture capital. They started investing in maintenance about 5-10 years back. So they were getting into maintenance firms. They were looking at smartphone maintenance and things like that. They've already made those bets. And it's time now for us to design better enterprises around us. I'm also thinking this whole aspect of trend analysis. What will be the trends there? What are going to be the keywords? For example, we talk about designing for bottom of the pyramid. Now, this is not just a trend that we are seeing in a country like this. Economics are talking about it. For example, I was reading this thing by Ray Dalio, who speaks about that this time every time that you have these sort of rises in economy and then big bursts, and he talks about micro bursts and big bursts, and he's predicting that there's a big burst which is going to come. Something shifts in the world order. And he said one of the things he's foreseeing is that there is a lot of conflict that is happening within countries because of rising price parity. People are not happy with this economic difference that is increasing, and it is happening across. Like if you see gig economy workers have been protesting that we want fairer prices. Farmers, they had such a huge protest around, okay, now we have to move beyond MSP and have to talk about some kind of price mapping. This is a conflict happening across the world. I think that in this new world order that will get established, these are the kind of systems that will come into play, where you would want more transparency in terms of where the money is going, how much money the leaders are making. Now, if you know that thing, what can we do in terms of our enterprises? How can we already design for supply chains that are more fair? Knowing that the next 10 years, next 20 years is going to be about enterprises like that. This was one. I was also looking at another thing, and this is something that just today I was researching for this talk I found out of a scientist or a philosopher called Karl Popper, who in 1930s predicted that we are going to be moving towards an open society. And open society is where you will be able to really see where money is going. You will be able to see where who is investing how much. And when I was reading that, I was being reminded of the entire world of crypto blockchain. And I'm also bringing that up, knowing that person sitting on my left is sort of an expert within the Srishti community around that. But the reason why we are having so many people who are sort of evangelists talk about that, for example, last 4 years, anyone who's in the US and A has taken their salary in cryptocurrency. Now, if they are doing that, even with the market which is right now down, then they know something that the rest of us don't know. They are invested in it, knowing that that's the future. Why? Because we are moving towards this open economy or open society. The society is moving towards that, the economy will move towards that, which means it's time businesses catch up. So these were some sort of trends that we were seeing. And when talking about trends, we know that Sonal in Srishti is ahead of curve. She's usually the person who catches up with trends. And she was telling me about next semester project that you are planning around this. You want to share a bit about that?
So just starting with also the patterns and data, what you said. In other countries, European countries, data is very easily accessible. In India, we are lacking with that. So we generally don't get the patterns and the trends, consumer trends very easily. India is still lacking in terms of research and collecting data. And again, once if they have got collected, disseminating the data to the required consumer or required people who really require those things. I would say so. I started my first project, which was Atmanirbhar Bharat 3 years before. That time we were looking into how India is trying to sort of improve our ecosystem of getting loans and starting, or sort of students focusing more on startup. Students were not focusing into startup because Indian ecosystem was not easy, or the infrastructure of our Indian, I would say, government and all other bureaucratic things were not suitable for startup. Whereas now they have made, in last 2 years, the things are much more easy. What I have seen in last 2 years research, what I have done. Second, last year my project was based on Next Artisan, where I did look at what are the artisans, where are their lives, which are the dying arts, and how we can take it to the highest level. And my students were able to sort of work on NFT development, and Srishti again was, I would say, the first institute to work on NFT, craft-based NFTs. So that was again, it gave me pleasure when really Jacob also mentioned this. I also felt, oh, really, something, you at least started some initiation on the level of how advanced we can do. This time when I was discussing with our deans about the topic what I could pick up for, so we started with our chief innovative officer and what is his what he wants the students to work on. The first we went to and did looked at some incubation accelerator models and so on. So Rustam said, no, I think so. That is, we have got those things and students are working on that. Then I said, okay, look, let me look at innovative models and what are new innovations happening. He said, no, don't know, you go back to your topics like cryptocurrency and NFT. I really want you to work on cryptocurrency or NFT. We should have something very new, because this will also help our student understand that what is absolutely very, I would say, the novel and newest thing which is happening in the world, rather than looking something which is already happening. So again, it is not very much fixed about, but we are going to definitely take blockchain technology, big data analytics, I would say artificial intelligence, and how all those things work, mainly looking at blockchain, and the project will go on from the perspective of blockchain technology.
Nice, we are looking forward to that. I think January starts, right?
It starts in January, yeah.
So,
We have also sort of in the phase of contacting client and looking really the clients who are willing to work with us. I don't want to just take this idea like how I did for my first project, contacts, or I would say no client base, but I want something, projects which are client based, so the student really get input and they're able to apply whatever they have learned in their last 3 to 4 years.
thank you so much for giving us your inputs on how economy influences design and influences business.
Thank you, Varun. Even I have been part of ESSD, I think so. Now this particular batch has been very close to me. I always generally interact if I've got any new ideas. It's, I think so, with the fourth year student, BSSD student, and with you. If I've got anything new, I'll first discuss it with you lot and then further carry on any of my projects.
We are so happy and privileged to these conversations. Thank you. Do join us more for these conversations. Also, if there is a topic that you've been thinking about, you want us to talk about, tell us. See you. Bye.
Bye.